This woman is not an ordinary woman. She only took off her wig. What caught her eye was a bald head that was barely visible. She only had 3 legs when she took off her gloves. Even her feet looked strange. But what's more terrible is that when she was angry, she would crack a small cherry big mouth. Fortunately, this woman is also principled. As long as you watch the video, she won't take the initiative to hurt you. So this woman is the legendary witch. At this time, she cracked a big mouth and said, "Children are the most annoying things in the world. We want to make children disappear from the earth." However, at this time, a little witch suddenly got up and interrupted her. The Witch King directly shot a lightning bolt and burned the little witch into ash. Then the Witch King took out a bottle of red potion. He asked the little witches to open a candy store. As long as you drop the potion in the candy, the children will turn into mice in an instant. Hearing tea, perfect plan of the Witch King, the little witch under the stage was excited and covered her mouth with her nails. But at this time, the Witch King suddenly smelled the smell of humans. The boy hiding under the table was terrified. Then the witch was like a dog. She kept showing up with her big nose. But when she opened the table, she found that there was no hair under it. It turned out that the boy had already dug into the ventilation pipe. She thought she had escaped. Unexpectedly, the Witch King suddenly opened the door and grabbed the boy's ears. She pulled him out alive. Several witches pressed the boy on the ground to control him. Then she poured the potion into his ears. With a strong pull, the boy flew directly to the ceiling. Green bubbles kept coming out all over his body. When he fell back to the ground again, the boy had already turned into a little mouse. The little black boy who reacted wanted to escape, but the witch held his tail. Her subordinates immediately brought a big hammer. In a dangerous situation, the little white mouse ran out of the ventilation hole. It was a bite to the witch's hand. The mice quickly ran into the ventilation pipe. It turned out that these mice were children who had been persecuted by the witch. The witch's arm extended indefinitely. The mice ran to the end. Fortunately, they fell into the next ventilation hole, but the witch's claws were hurt by the fan that was turning. It hurt so much that the baby cried. The little black boy said that his grandmother was bitten by a snake. Maybe he can help us recover. So, they passed a ventilation hole. Then they sneaked into the elevator and successfully arrived outside the grandmother's room. But they are mice now. How to knock on the door, how to ring the doorbell. They climbed to the top of the building and reached the rat ladder. They successfully pressed the doorbell of the grandmother's room. Fortunately, there was no danger, but the maid who was cleaning found them. The maid picked up the broom and chased them crazily. Suddenly, the grandmother opened the door. They successfully ran into the room. "Grandma, it's me. Grandma, it's me. Is that 2 boys?" "Yes, Grandma, it's me." Seeing the beloved grandson turn into a mouse, the grandmother was very sad, but now she wanted them to turn back into humans again. She had to get the witch's potion, so they acted together. They put the boy in the socks made by the grandmother. Then they put him downstairs. While the witch was away, they stole the potion. In the face of danger, the witch showed more courage than adults. After overcoming many difficulties, they finally stole 1 bottle from the pot full of potion. But at this time, the witch came back. The witch hid under the table. The witch ran away when the witch took the money. But when the witch sat in the socks and was pulled up by the grandmother, the witch appeared again to pinch the socks. Fortunately, the smart grandmother found a reason. Then they got over it. After coming up, the grandmother began to adjust the antidote, but after continuous attempts, they failed in the end. The grandmother was very sad. The boy comforted the grandmother in turn. In fact, he didn't mind being a mouse, because even if he became a mouse, the grandmother would still be by his side. But the mouse couldn't swallow this breath. He decided to take revenge on this evil witch. Besides, as long as there is a witch, more children will be persecuted, so they have to stop the witch. Although this will put them in danger, they are still fearless. Are you sure about this, little man? It sounds like it could be a very dangerous and scary mission. Trust me, Grandma, I can handle it. The crew immediately began to act. After the 3 little mice entered the ventilation duct again, Xiaohei took the antidote and sneaked into the hotel kitchen. He wanted to pour the antidote into the witch's food and turn them all into mice. It was time for the witches to eat. The grandmother came to the restaurant for the sake of everything. The waiter served a bowl of bean soup. The witches drank it deliciously. When the witch leader was about to eat, what did he find? So he put down the spoon and walked towards the grandmother. Big deal. It turned out that when the grandmother was a child, she had seen the witch, heard other children with her own eyes, and luckily escaped. When the witch leader was in a daze, a witch on the scene was blown to the sky. The witch turned into a mouse. Then the other witches also began to be blown to the sky. They all turned into mice. The scene was a mess. The grandmother took the opportunity to sneak into the witch leader's room. She wanted to take all the potion from the witch and prevent other children from being hurt by the potion again. Suddenly the door opened. The witch leader had just not drunk the poisonous bowl of bean soup. He showed his evil smile to the grandmother. Big deal. In fact, the grandmother was deliberately delaying the time. Xiaohei and the other 2 friends had already set up a trap. They put the hatchet under the witch's feet. Xiaohei also put a bottle bottle of magic potion on the hatchet. The witch's wig was taken by Xiaohei as a parachute. The witch, who had drunk the whole bottle of potion, began to tremble. Then a strange sound sneaked into the ceiling. Finally, she successfully turned into a bald mouse. The grandmother used a glass cover to easily trap her. Then she released the cat she had raised. The evil witch eventually committed suicide. The grandmother destroyed all the magic potions. The only regret is that they can't turn back into humans. But what does it matter? They have the protection and company of their grandmother. They still live a happy life.